My family members are messy, so when I drop her off on the weekend, I don't know what they do.
Abject.
Wait a minute, when you drop...
I want that in my sex life, and I should be able to experience that with my husband, but we don't.
You were sleeping with both men during the window of conception.
I had sex with both of them on the same day at one point.
Yeah.
If you are certain Mr. Schroll is the father, on the day Brinley's born, he does show up to the hospital.
Only because his mother made
I
him.
don't care how he got there. If
to
he
be
was
there.
following the sun and the moon and the stars, he got there.
Ms. Reeves strides into court, all guns blazing, ready to prove without a shadow of a doubt that Mr. Silva is the father of her 7-month-old son, Legend. Picture this. She's 110% sure, and Mr. Silva is there, just as adamant, shaking his head in denial. It's like watching a tennis match, but with paternity on the line. And just when you're catching your breath, Mr. Silva comes out with a zinger.
You are here today to prove that the defendant, Mr. Silva, is the biological father of your 7-month-old son, Legend. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Silva, you were involved in a paternity case on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in support of your sister, who took a DNA test to prove paternity of her child.
The audacity levels are off the charts here. Mr. Silva, with the confidence of a peacock, lays out his philosophy on fidelity. Apparently, it's a one-way street where men get the express lane. His take? Men can wander off the path, but women? Nope, they better stay put. The judge's eyebrows hit the roof, and the audience is half amused, half outraged. It's like Mr. Silva missed the memo from the 21st century. But hold on to your hats, because Mr. Silva is about to double down.
I grew up loving women, loving sex.
You grew up loving sex.
To me, I always felt like it was okay for men to go out, have sex, cheat, come home to their family, and women can't go out, have sex, and come home, and especially with a baby, it's trying to say that I'm his father.
Because all he wanted to do was cheat on me. I've been nothing but faithful to him since I first met him.
And so you believe he's projecting his unfaithfulness.
Just when we thought we'd seen it all, Mr. Silva decides it's time for a history lesson nobody asked for, claiming men are hardwired to conquer, and women should basically just deal with it. The audience can't decide if they're watching a court case or a comedy show, with laughter battling shock. The judge is all but popping popcorn at this point. Mr. Silva's justifications are spiraling into an alternate reality, and we're all just along for the ride. The judge's comeback? You'll want to sit down for this.
Well, Your Honor, I feel like,
that.
God created men to conquer, to overrule, and women cannot empower men.
What are we on, Game of Thrones?
Yeah, you see what I did with it?
Talking about? First of all, you said God created men to conquer, and what else?
Conquer, and women
to rule.
Cannot overpower.
The courtroom suddenly feels like a therapist's office. The judge, now playing the role of wise sage, cuts through the circus to remind everyone there's a kid at the center of this hula-baloo. It's a moment of clarity in a sea of chaos, highlighting the tangled web of relationships and the heavy weight of responsibility. The air is thick with aha moments and reconsidered life choices. But just when you think we're moving towards sanity, another curveball.
That could give rise to some doubt. If you then change your password so he can't see what's going on your phone, most men, that's going to make him think she possibly is involved with somebody else. That doesn't make it right that he's doing the wrong thing either. But you have to understand that his extra affairs outside of your relationship do not necessarily have bearing on the paternity issue that we're dealing with now.
Cue the dramatic music for this plot twist. Mr. Silva, in a rare moment of introspection, admits he was only there for the baby's grand entrance and not the backstage drama of the pregnancy. It's a confession wrapped in a riddle, with him signing the birth certificate but still playing the maybe I am, maybe I'm not game. And just when you think it can't get more complicated, enter the mysterious messenger.
During this pregnancy, Mr. Silva, are you accompanying Ms. Reeves to doctor's appointments? No. Are you involved? Or are you basically just being standoffish because you don't think it's your child?
Your Honor, I was ripped when, as soon as she told me, I told her who was the father. So I did not believe I was the father, and I was not with her during her pregnancy. I was only there to be supportive during the birth.
So in that moment, despite your doubt, you said, I want to be there at the hospital when the baby is born.
Yes, and throughout the whole time I'm telling her I want a DNA test.
Things get spicy with a capital S here. Out of the blue, a woman slides into Ms. Reeves's DMs with the gossip bombshell that Mr. Silva has been spreading his bets on fatherhood like it's blackjack. This revelation throws a grenade into the already explosive trust issues, setting the stage for an epic showdown. The anticipation is through the roof for the grand finale.
Like, well, I have proof right here. A girl, she messaged me basically saying that, they was talking. He was.
Let me see that evidence. Jerome, will you hand that to me?
Here you go. He was her boyfriend as well. He didn't know me. I'm just.
So you got a message out of the blue from another woman, and it says, he told me you were his ex and that you were pregnant, but you're and didn't know who the dad was.
Hold on to your hats, folks. The climax is here, and it's a doozy. The DNA test results roll in like the credits of a blockbuster movie. And surprise, surprise.
When it comes to 7-month-old legend Silva, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Silva, you are the father. You are the father.
That's all I needed to know, Your Honor.
Buckle up for a twist that'll have your jaw on the floor as we dive into the saga where Mr. Jordan alleges he was bamboozled into signing the birth certificate of a kiddo who might just not be his mini-me. He's all in for a DNA showdown to scrub his name clean. The drama curtain rises on what promises to be a legal telenovela with more twists than a pretzel factory. And trust us, you'll barely believe the shenanigans up next.
Mr. Jordan, you claim the defendant tricked you into signing her daughter's birth certificate and being a daddy. But 2 years later, you were told that another man is her biological father. You opened your case because you want DNA proof you are not the father so you can get your name removed from the birth certificate. Is that correct?
Picture the scene. Utter bewilderment. Mr. Jordan recounts the tale of deceit spun by Ms. Heim, who had him convinced he was the proud papa of little Caitlin, only to later uncover a plot twist worthy of a soap opera that there's possibly another daddy in the narrative. He shares his tale of feeling exploited given his eagerness to step up to the plate for Caitlin since her debut into the world. But fasten your seatbelts because this roller coaster of a story is about to do a loop-de-loop.
Mr. Jordan, you say Ms. Heim tricked you?
Yes.
Explain.
She tricked me into thinking that I was the father. She tricked me into thinking that Caitlin was my first daughter. She tricked me into thinking that the other guy had done got a paternity test on Caitlin because she told me, oh, he already got one, and you know what I'm saying? That's why I know it's just you. Tricked me into thinking that family was something sacred.
Just when you thought it couldn't thicken, the plot pulls a fast one, with Ms. Heim coming clean about her love triangle antics, but standing her ground that Mr. Jordan is indeed Caitlin's bio-dad. She vents her spleen over the gossip mill churning, causing her and her mini-me undue stress. It's a heart-wrenching chapter that underscores the emotional chaos and the little one caught in the crossfire. You'll want to stick around for the bombshell about to drop.
I met Chris, and all of a sudden I came pregnant, so I know Chris is the father.
So wait, you're saying that you were only having sex with one other man other than Mr. Jordan?
Just one time in April, and then I found out I was pregnant in June.
Okay, so was that potentially the window of conception?
Yes, Your Honor, but I know that Chris is the father.
But how if you had sex with the other guy?
I just know that he's the father.
As the emotional temperature hits a boiling point, Mr. Jordan pours his heart out about his bond with Caitlin, painting a picture of a man who dove headfirst into fatherhood, diaper changes and all, amidst the swirling doubts over who contributed the other half of her DNA. It's a saga of love, paternity puzzles, and a man's determination to be the best dad possible. The next twist is guaranteed to have you picking your jaw up off the floor.
That, like, when this little girl was born, like, that would change my life. Like, that would did it for me. That's what made me start going in a positive direction.
This is what I don't understand. It was all going well.
It was, you know what I'm saying?
And so how does it go wrong?
This is where it goes wrong. Her and the family member gets into like an altercation or whatnot, like an argument. It wasn't even an altercation, it was an argument. And it was like they started like throwing dirt on each other, you know what I mean? So she said something about this family member's in front of this family member's boyfriend or whatever.
Hold on to your hats because the drama meter's about to explode with a bombshell reveal. Snapshots of Mr. Santavius Knight playing happy families with Caitlin. The plot thickens as we're left to puzzle over the real daddy drama and Ms. Heim's tangled web of tales. Gear up as the mystery only unravels further from here.
Over to somebody else. Like how am I the last person to find out?
Do you know who this man is, Miss Heim?
That's the guy I had sex one time with when I met Chris. That's the one I was having sex since 2010.
So what was Caitlin doing on his lap?
My family members are messy, so when I drop her off on the weekend, I don't know what they do.
I object.
Wait a minute, when you drop...
Your Honor, I object. My thing is, what your family members got to do with my daughter on another man's lap?
Right, that's what I want to know.
The courtroom gasps for air as in a move no one saw coming, Santavius Knight strides in, oozing confidence, and drops the bomb that he's been led to believe he's Caitlin's real dad, courtesy of Ms. Heim's plot twists. This revelation sends the narrative spiraling into a vortex of lies, confusion, and a serious need for a family tree clarification. But hold your horses, this soap opera's got more episodes.
It has been brought to this court's attention that there are pictures of you with Caitlin where you put in a caption that this is me and my baby Kate, where you are referring to this little girl as your daughter.
Yes.
Do you believe Caitlin is your daughter?
Yes, that's my baby. She told me when she got pregnant, she like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, what you telling me for? She like, well, it's not Chris, cause me and Chris been together a year and a half, and we ain't got pregnant.
As the emotional dust starts to settle, or so we think, the spotlight shifts to the emotional wreckage left in the wake, Caitlin's confused heart, and the carousel of potential dads. The judge lays into Ms. Heim with a verbal lashing for her script-worthy manipulation and deceit, pushing her towards a path of redemption for the little one's sake. Brace yourself. The finale is bound to be a tearjerker.
That's irrelevant to what the matter at hand. And we got one person manipulating two different guys on one child. Like, it's not bothering. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna hurt you. You feel me? It's gonna hurt her. You dig what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I don't want her life to be messed up off the choices her mother made. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I love that little girl. You know what I'm saying? If I could, you know what I'm saying, I would. But bye, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna take that from him.
In a climactic revelation that feels like the season finale, the DNA results are unsealed.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Jordan. Mr. Jordan, you are Caitlin's biological father.
In the quirky aftermath of what seemed like just another ho-hum day in court, the plot twist hits you like a surprise birthday party gone wrong. Miss Chappelle, with the dramatic flair of a soap opera queen, spills the beans on her steamy affair and throws a curveball about the paternity of her 5-month-old daughter. She doesn't just admit it, she practically sings it, turning the courtroom into a mix of a confessional booth and a reality TV show set, stirring up the pot right from the get-go. The courtroom, now a circus of stunned silence and dropped jaws, braces itself for what's next.
Miss Chappelle, you're a married woman who admits to having an affair, and now you say you have questions regarding your 5-month-old daughter's paternity.
Yes, Your Honor.
Standing next to you is your father, Mr. Wells, and he doesn't want you to get the results.
And just when you're munching on your popcorn, thinking this can't get any spicier, the story cannonballs into the deep end of the drama pool. Mr. Chappelle, looking every bit the jilted lover from a telenovela, shares his roller coaster of emotions upon hearing the pregnancy news, which quickly sours into a cocktail of betrayal and despair. His heartbreak scene is so vivid, you'd half expect a violin soundtrack to start playing in the background, highlighting the soap opera-worthy personal stakes at play. And then, as if by magic, another voice jumps into this melodramatic symphony, turning the plot into a veritable opera of the absurd.
You say you were elated when your wife told you she was pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then that joy turned to pain when she revealed that you may not be her baby's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You admit you'll be heartbroken if today's test results prove your wife's lover is in fact the child's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
As the suspense thickens, we dive headfirst into the juicy saga of family honor, skeletons in closets, and secret handshakes. Enter Mr. Wells, Miss Chappelle's dad, who practically channels his inner godfather, fretting over the family's rep and the seismic shock the paternity results might unleash. He adds a delicious layer of old-school drama, making you wonder if you've accidentally stumbled into a family saga novel. The air crackles with tension as everyone leans in, popcorn in hand, waiting for the next bombshell.
Well, ma'am, I met her mother when she was pregnant about 3 months, and it just come to the point that, you know, we made an agreement one time just to walk away from. And it's the point that the granddaughter, I don't want to see her go down that road. Some things are better left unsaid, man.
No offense, Your
Your Honor, it's about Leah and me. I need to find out if I'm the father or not. He has the right to know. I have the right to know. No, we can't go down the road.
In the swirling vortex of emotional upheaval, a bomb drops that shakes the pillars of marital bliss to their very core. The plot meanders into the steamy reasons behind Miss Chappelle's extramarital escapade, shedding light on her yawn-inducing sex life. This confessional turns the affair from a simple scandal into a tragicomedy of marital woe, making you wonder if they were ever happy. Strap in, folks, because this roller coaster of desperation and longing is about to go off the rails.
So please take me back. How did all of this begin?
Well, we met at a high school football game, and it was love at first sight. We got engaged 4 months later. We got married on Valentine's Day. We had a son together probably about a year later. I started getting bored with our sex life. I kept telling him and telling him and telling him. I said I wanted to change it.
4 months
Well, if I
later?
tell you we needed to change it because I wasn't happy sexually.
The plot thickens, revealing a masterclass in the art of sneaky liaisons and cloak and dagger romances. We get a sneak peek into Miss Chappell's secret agent level tactics for rendezvousing with her lover, making James Bond look like an amateur. This segment paints a picture of a woman who's not just in it for the thrills. She's practically crafting a second life, complete with a plot twist every episode. Just when you think you've unraveled the mystery, the story laughs and says, think again.
He was a friend. We started sexting, and I would hide it. We would send messages on Facebook. We would meet up. We met in his driveway at a hotel. I mean, we had sex, and it was what I wanted sexually. He wasn't scared to go in there and jerk my clothes off and say, I want you like this. I want that in my sex life, and I should be able to experience that with my husband, but we don't.
You were sleeping with both men during the window of conception.
I had sex with both of them on the same day at one point.
Yeah.
Diving into the heart of the storm, we follow a man as he tries to piece together the jigsaw of his life, now more puzzling than a Rubik's Cube. Mr. Chappelle's saga of confronting the other man adds a spicy twist, showcasing his turmoil and determination with the intensity of a climactic movie showdown. As we navigate through this emotional minefield, the story prepares us for an earth-shattering revelation that's about to redefine everything we thought we knew about family drama and love triangles.
So all this time, you find out you're pregnant. When you get news she's pregnant, you're excited because you think you're going to be a dad.
Oh yeah, I was browsing on the internet, sitting at the computer, and she told me, but she was upset. I was kind of wondering why she was upset. We're supposed to be happy. It didn't make sense to me.
The moment of truth crashes in a whirlwind of raw emotions and knotted narratives, changing the game forever. The grand reveal of the DNA results sends shockwaves through the story.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Chappelle, you are not her biological father.
Why'd you do this for?
I'm so sorry. I really am.
I'm still gonna be there for her.
We're diving headfirst into the roller coaster case of Whitaker versus Schroll, where the courtroom turns into a daytime drama stage. Ms. Whitaker is on a mission to prove Mr. Schroll is the father of her adorable, yet evidently disputed, 2-year-old daughter, Brinley. According to Ms. Whitaker, Mr. Schroll's hesitation is all thanks to his mother's meddling ways, pushing him to evade his daddy duties. Buckle up for a wild ride filled with jaw-dropping revelations.
Classic case, babies having babies. This is it. These are not the type of extracurricular activities you need to be engaging in when you're in school.
I completely agree, but since then I've gotten my GED.
I am very proud of you for getting your GED.
Thank you.
But I want to understand something, because you said Mr. Schroll's mother was getting in the way of your relationship. If you all were all living together, why do you say she doesn't like you and she was interfering in a relationship?
The drama intensifies to soap opera levels. The spat between Ms. Whitaker and the formidable Mrs. Schroll Senior escalates into an all-out war with accusations flying faster than a soap opera slap. This heated exchange shines a spotlight on the dramatic effects of external family influences on a love story. Things are about to get even steamier.
Mr. Schroll, did you know your mother didn't care for Ms. Whitaker?
She cared for her. I don't know where that she didn't care for her comes from, because anytime Miss Whitaker needed to talk to her, she'd come to my mom. She'd call her mama.
Really? Did you call his mother mama?
Yes, because we were together for 2.5 years. Our families were each other's families.
Was this a committed relationship?
We were together for 3 years, yes.
Dive deeper into the melodrama here, reflecting on their vows and dreams derailed by whispers of infidelity. This segment feels like a plunge from romantic highs to the lows of mistrust and betrayal. This chapter vividly paints the picture of a love story turning sour, brimming with doubt and heartache. But wait, there's more heart-wrenching drama on the horizon.
We were actually going to get married in May, the year that I found out I was pregnant, and I had bought his ring and my ring and everything.
And I can see that makes you sad to think about that.
Yeah, because we were really happy at one point, and I thought it was going to be forever.
Both of you are acting like you were committed, but if you were committed and nobody did anything outside the relationship, you wouldn't be here. No. So let's get to the real detail.
What had happened, her mom had passed away.
Okay.
And she got put in a foster home, and once she turned 18, she went with family.
Grab your tissues for this one. Ms. Whitaker opens up about her personal tragedy, losing her mother, enduring the cold world of foster care, and the bombshell of her pregnancy. This segment tugs at every heartstring, showcasing her fight through adversity and the emotional turmoil of those dark times. Prepare yourself. The next revelation is a doozy.
She had cheated on me.
How did that come up?
It took a little bit for it to come out, but eventually it did come out.
She admitted it. Did you admit it, Ms. Whitaker?
Yes, I did. First, Your Honor. No, that's not how all of this happened. That's not how we separated.
Okay, let me hear your side of it.
When my mother died, I got taken into DHR custody. I was only 17. I was 8 months from being 18. Anyway, they put me with my aunt, and me and Christian were fighting all the time. I was hormonal, I was pregnant. His mother refused to let him come to my doctor.
The tension could cut glass. Enter Ms. Blackwell, Mr. Schroll's mother, with her take, casting a storm of doubt over the young couple's love and questioning Brinley's paternity. The clash between Ms. Whitaker and Ms. Blackwell couldn't be more palpable, but the drama doesn't stop there. It's about to go into overdrive.
Well, she's not here, so we cannot talk about her.
If I cannot speak of.
All right. When you found out she was pregnant, did you think the baby was your grandchild?
I did, because my son believed at
No, you didn't. You told me from the
was.
beginning that's not his child.
Not until she admitted to me.
Edge of your seat suspense. The paternity puzzle gets more convoluted with twists of infidelity and the murky waters of Brinley's parentage. This segment delves deep into the tangled webs woven by past decisions and their shadows over the present. The climax is near, and it's going to be epic.
These days are outlined completely every day.
Every day.
From the 2nd
I don't remember any
to
of
the
that.
31st, you had sex with Mr. Schroll.
You You don't remember that? We lived together for 3 years. We had sex every single day. How do you not remember that?
How do we sleep together when you're either in a foster home or you're at a girl's home or you're living with
I
your
wasn't
aunt and
in a foster home at the beginning of August. I wasn't in a foster home until August 30th.
Your heart will be racing here. The post-birth saga unfolds, with new characters and a bitter battle over the birth certificate, leaving Mr. Schrull in the dust. This chapter highlights the gritty reality of navigating co-parenting amidst a storm of contention and unresolved issues. But the ultimate twist is just moments away.
This is a birth certificate, certificate of live birth. Brinley Ann Smith, and father's name is Nicholas Dwayne Smith. I want to understand if you are certain Mr. Schroll is the father. On the day Brinley's born, he does show up to the hospital.
Only because his mother
I don't care how he got there. I don't care if he was following the sun and the moon and the stars. He got there. And you say he's the father. Why put another man's name on your child's birth certificate if the man that you are so certain is the father is there?
Your Honor, when I woke up from my C-section, he wasn't even there. I woke up the next morning, and on Facebook, Christian had posted stuff all over Facebook about my boyfriend, about my family, saying baby mama drama already. I told him I don't want you to come back.
The grand finale we've all been waiting for. In a dramatic courtroom reveal, the DNA results are in.
Mr. Schroll, you are her father.
I am.
Thank you.
I apologize for everything. I really do. I'm sorry I put you through this.
I'm just so happy after 2 years. You finally know you can finally start being there.